I know why you're struggling with navigation. I know you can't seem to figure out navigation stack. And I know you hate using sheet view modifiers, and I know why you were fed up by navigation link in navigation stack. Because SwiftUI's navigation API is overly complicated and has a lot of boundaries. Here's what you have to do. Use the coordinator pattern. The coordinator pattern is well known in the UIKit community, but will it work in SwiftUI? So in this video, I'm going to show you how you too can build a simple coordinator in SwiftUI. Also, if you want a more robust navigation kit, go ahead and check out Navigation Kit. The link is down in the description for a 50% off. Now today we are going to talk about how you can create a simple coordinator for your SwiftUI projects. If you want even more like deep linking and making sure that we are popping back and navigating correctly with sheets like models and full screen covers, go ahead and check out Navigation Kit. Today we are going to take a look at this starter project. It's basically a few views that we are going to navigate through and pop back. The apple view, I already set up these buttons over here, the banana view, the carrot view, lemon view, and olive view. And the default, the root view is apple view. Let me just show you what this looks like. So this will be the end result. So pushing on the way up, and then we may pop. We may pop the last two, which is basically going back to root, but we also have this pop to root. And then we can just present, we can dismiss it. Of course, because this is a sheet, we might slide it down, then present a full screen cover, and then we can dismiss that too. And right over here, the pop also works. And the back button, the default back buttons also work as expected. So this is what we're going to build out today. With the coordinator pattern, and I'm truly sure that you will actually love to use coordinator patterns in your SwiftUI code. Okay, so first of all, we want to create an actual coordinator. So let's create a new empty file. There will be two files, the coordinator and the coordinator view. This is the first one, coordinator. We are going to import SwiftUI. And first of all, we want to set up our pages, our views where we are going to navigate to. That is the coordinator patterns role. We want to set things up in one place, and then we can use those navigation destinations throughout our application. So we're going to create a simple enum. It will be called page, and this has to be a string. Identifiable, and then also a view. And we're going to get through all of these why these matter in just a second while I'm going to write this out. So first of all, let's take care of the cases. Apple, and then banana, and then carrot. Basically, I'm adding in all of the views, and then lemon, and then olive. There we go. Let's take care of the identifiable part. We need this for the sheet because we are going to use the .sheet item view modifier. So for that, I'm just going to say var id of type string row value. Now, this is why it has to be of type string, because here we are actually using its row value from the cases. Okay, and finally, this has to adhere to the view, which means that we need to have a body variable, just like that. Let's use that. We are going to switch through the cases, and according to whatever case we have, we are going to add in the corresponding view. So let's just go switch self, and I'm going to use this one, and then apple view, banana view, and so forth. Let me just go ahead and add them real quickly. Here we have our lemon view and then olive view. Okay, and that takes care of the pages. Now we can use this enum to either just access its case. So, you're just going to have .apple, .banana. And also we may access it as a view. So we already have it as a view because it conforms to the view protocol. Okay. So, yeah, one final thing, because I already know that we are going to present the lemon view and the olive view inside a model, so a sheet and a full screen cover. And I also need the navigation bar to appear. I'm just going to put these two into a navigation stack. Not because I want to navigate in them, only because I need the navigation bar to appear on top. So that's it. Okay, so next up, we need to actually create our coordinator. That will be an observable class and then coordinator. And we need to set some buckets of data that will be used to navigate throughout our app. And the first one is the navigation path. This will be used when we are using the navigation stack and we're just sliding in these views. So we need actually an array, but the navigation path is actually an array under the hood. So we're going to say var path equals navigation path, just like that. And then optionally, we might at some point slide up or, present a sheet or a full screen cover. So for those, we are going to create these optionals. So sheet, and it's not going to be any view. It's going to be of type page, because we set that page up, the enum, and then cover. I'm just going to go with the shorter version. It's going to be cover. Okay, next up, we need to define what types of styles we are going to have with this navigation. And one, we have the navigation stack that's going to be push, and then sheet and cover. So let's have our enum over here. That will be our push style. And we are going to have three cases, either push, either sheet, or cover. Okay, now we are going to navigate, but you're also going to pop back. So we also need to have some pop styles. So enum, pop styles. We are going to be having one. We are also going to have another case of last and then int. So last two, last three, last whatever. And then just for a convenience, we could just, count all of the pages that has been presented and then just say last n. But let's just go for to root. That will be a convenience. Okay, so now let's take care of the actual navigation. We are going to create here three, actually two, but one is a private helper. We're going to go to a certain destination, and then we're going to pop / dismiss a certain destination, or more destinations, of course. And those are pages, by the way. So func go, and we are going to say to a page of type page. There we go. And we're going to also provide the style, and that will be a push style. Okay. And we're just simply going to switch through the styles. Okay. And if it's push, then we are going to append to the path. So we're just going to say path.append this new value, and that is our page. If it's a sheet, then we're going to say sheet equals our page. Oh, sorry, this one. Come on, autocomplete. Page. And then if it's a cover, we are going to say cover equals our page. Page. There we go. Okay, simple as that. That is how we are going to actually navigate. We are going to set things up with navigation stack and the view modifiers, but this is how we are actually going to trigger it. Okay, so lastly, we want to pop / dismiss. There are two things we need to consider. When we are sliding down, we are dismissing the sheet, or when we are sliding back, the navigation stack type of navigation. So we are going to cover both of them. We are going to check if there is a sheet available, and we are going to dismiss that first if it's available, and then, the navigation stack types. Otherwise, we're just going to slide back. So that dismiss, it's two different things, but I'm just going to create one with a pop. So this dismiss, when we are dismissing the sheet, needs to be private first. So private func dismiss, And we're going to have a completion, because we are actually want to wait for that sheet to be dismissed and then go and dismiss all of the others. So this has to be at escaping, and we are going to have a Boolean value is completed. And that's because let me just type this out and then I can explain properly. That's because if we have a sheet being dismissed, we are going to say, okay, completion true, we did dismiss it. Otherwise, completion false, so we can just move on with our navigation stack type of pop. Okay, so we want to check if there is a sheet available or not, because by default it's set to optional. Its default value is nil, so we can check against that. So if sheet is not equals nil, then we actually want to dismiss it. So we are going to say self.sheet equals nil. So we're going to set it. Basically, we are just going to remove the page from that sheet. And then we want to wait dispatch.u.async after, come on, async after, come on, autocomplete. Yeah, I'm just going to copy this with the deadline. Let me just copy this out from my notes over here because actually Xcode autocomplete is failing me. There we go. Let's just indent that. So dispatch queue.main async after a deadline of 0.6 seconds, and we're going to say completion equals true. So we dismiss the sheet. Else, we want to check for all of this for the covers. So if cover not equals nil, we're going to dismiss that by setting it to nil. And then again, we are also going to complete with true. Otherwise, we are just going to say completion false because, no sheet or cover was presented that needed to be dismissed. Okay, once we have this, we can now create our general pop function. So func pop, and we are going to have here a style. So style, and that would be our pop style. And let's just have that set by default to 1. So we don't have to always type out that we want to dismiss only one view. So first of all, we are going to use the private function that we have created, dismiss. We are going to have this completion with a Boolean value, did dismiss. And if we did dismiss, we are actually going to, well, if we didn't dismiss, we are just going to move forward. So if not did dismiss, then we can move on to the navigation stack part. So switch style, let me just see, there we go, Xcode is helping out over here. If we want to dismiss one, we are just going to say self.path remove last. That's great. When we are removing more than just one from the last one, we want to actually double check if there is available that we may remove that. So we want to have a guard statement over here. Guard last is less than or equals our self.path.count. Otherwise, we want to return. And then we just say self.path remove last. And then this is an int. I'm just going to have it as last over there and also over here. Okay, and finally pop to root, we are just going to remove all of it from the path. So the path count, self.path remove last and self.path.count. Okay, that's fine. Now we can just simply use these functions, the go to page with the style and then the pop style in our views. But these are just commands. We need to set them up. So we actually need to create some sort of a coordinator view that holds everything together. So let's create a new file from template. It will be a view, SwiftUI view. Let's click on next over here. Let's name this coordinator view. There we go. Let's create it. And what do we actually need over here? First of all, we need to create our coordinator. So at state private var coordinator equals our coordinator. Okay, So that's that. We are going to attach it in just a second. Next up, we want to create a navigation path. A navigation stack that will use our navigation path. So navigation stack with the one with the path and root. The path will be $coordinator.path, okay? And then right over here, we want to set up a root. Well, in our case, as you can see right over here under the app file, we have the Apple view. So let's do that also. So we are going to access it from the page enum, which remember is actually adhering to the view protocol. So we can just say dot and then Apple. And that is actually the view that we set up in the body, of course. And then we want to set everything up so it can navigate. We're going to use three view modifiers: the navigation destination for the sheet item, and then the full screen cover item. So let's just start off with the navigation destination. Okay, we're going to use this one with the first one, so for, and then the hash bar will be the page.self. And then under the destination, we are getting back here a page, and then you could just do it like that, page and then page, because this is actually a view, but there's a much more streamlined one. Instead of this, we're just going to say $0, because then it's accessing that page that we have. Okay, next up, we want to go for the sheet with the item. And the item will be $coordinator. Remember, we have a sheet over there. And then again, the content, you might get here back a page and, the same thing. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and add $0 again. And then I'm going to duplicate this because it's the same thing for the full screen cover. There we go. Okay, so now we have everything set up. Next, we want the coordinator to be available on all of our views. So what we are doing on the navigation stack, we are going to set the environment as the coordinator up. Okay, that's the whole setup. Now let's use this. So let's go to the Apple view, and we want to access our coordinator. How do we do that? Well, at environment, coordinator.self, private var coordinator. And that's it. What I'm going to do is copy this out and paste it in all of my views that I want it to have access to it. There we go. Lemon view 2, and then the olive view. Okay, let's come back to the Apple view. And let's see, what do we want to do over here under the first button? We want to push. So we say coordinator dot go, and then to, where do we want to go? To the banana view. And then with the style, we are just going to push it. So we are just going to select push from over there. Let's see this in action before we move to the other one, because it's really, really great that we have this available. Okay, let's just... Coordinator may be missing as an ancestor. Let's just double check if we actually did set up. Yes. So the issue here was, you see, and you might get into this trouble too. Let me just expand this so you get this error message over here. No observable object of type coordinator found. But we did set up our environment coordinator. Well, the issue is that we did not change the actual Apple view, and we are using the environment inside the Apple view. So instead of Apple view, we want to say this is the coordinator view. Okay, Command R to build and run again, and this time it should be working as expected. There we go. We have push, and then we can just pop back. Really, really nice. Let's add all of the others. Let's go back to the Apple view, and when we want to present as a sheet the lemon view. So coordinator.go to lemon, and then the style will be, this time it will be sheet. Let's see that, and let's see if it's just going to present it as a sheet. Present, we can just slide it down. Really nice. Okay, let's add the same thing to present the olive view now as a cover. So coordinator.go to olive, there we go, as a cover. And please note that if we want to change any of these, it's really straightforward. We just change the style. So present, let's just see that, dismissing it, present as the olive. Let's just see, style, cover. There's something wrong over here. So let's just double check under the coordinator. Cover equals the page. Let me just double check on the coordinator view. Yes, indeed. We duplicated this line, so we need to change it from sheet to cover. Yeah, really nice live debugging over here. So sheet is going to be presented, really nice. Present, there we go. We are presenting our all view. Of course, the dismiss button is just not working right now. We are going to get there soon. Okay, and that's the Apple view. And now we are going to go to the banana view. We want to push the carrot view. You already saw this. So coordinator dot go to carrot style of push. And then we want to pop also. So let's see that. Coordinator dot and pop. As simple as that. Let's double check on the pop too. There we go. We are going to push and then pop. Really nice. And also the back button works. Let's take a look at the carrot view. There we go. Next, we are going to pop last two, and pop to root. Let's go to our carrot view and then pop. You already know this. Coordinator dot pop and then pop last two. Coordinator dot pop. And we're going to use the style dot last and then two. And let's just also add the code for our pop to root. Coordinator dot pop and then what type? To root. Now let's double check if that actually works. And it should, by the way. And pop last two, we are having two views right over here. It will do the same thing as the pop to root. Let's just see that. And let's just double check on the pop. There we go. Really, really nice. Okay, finally, let's add these pops onto the lemon view and the olive view too. Now it's dismissed, but remember, it's same as pop. So coordinator dot pop. It's as simple as that. Let's go to the olive too. And this is where it mostly is really needed, because this is presented as a full screen cover. So we can just tap on that dismiss button and it will just slide down, because right over here, we could just slide down or tap on the button of dismiss. When we are having a full screen cover, we actually cannot slide down. So we do need the dismiss button just like that. Let me just show you that again. There we go. Okay, so that is how simple it is to just set up a coordinator pattern in your SwiftUI code. Now, if you want even more, go ahead and check out Navigation Kit. We have deep links popping back, and it is available throughout iOS 17 Plus. So it's really, really nice API. The link for a 50% off discount is in the description.